They skipped my med school graduation for my sister's gender reveal. I walked across the stage and every seat I had reserved was empty. All 5 of them. Not one person. Just 5 folded chairs with my last name on a printed card nobody came to claim. I graduated with distinction from a 4-year program that nearly broke me twice. First year biochemistry almost ended it. 3rd year clinical rotations had me sleeping 4 hours a night for 6 months straight. And when I got my acceptance letter, my dad said, "Nice work, son," and went back to the game. But when my sister Maya announced she was pregnant, the entire family acted like she had discovered electricity. The conflict started 8 weeks before my ceremony when Maya decided her gender reveal needed to happen on a Saturday in June, and there are only 4 Saturdays in June, and she picked mine. Not the one before, not the one after, the exact same morning. And my mom called me to explain that Lacey's parents were flying in from out of state, and the venue was already booked. And I said, "Mom, my graduation is that morning," and she said, "I know, honey, but maybe you could have dinner with us after." And I waited for her to hear what she just said, and she never did. I called my dad, and he said, "These moments only happen once," and I said, "So does this," and he said, "We'll get photos," and I said, "I don't want photos, I want my family there," and he said, "Son, you're going to have a lot of accomplishments," and I heard what he meant under that sentence, and I didn't say another word. My sister texted me separately, just said sorry about the timing, with a yellow heart, and I stared at that yellow heart for longer than I should have. Graduation morning. My roommate James helped me with my hood cords, and his parents drove 3 hours from Pittsburgh, and his mom straightened my collar and said, "We're so proud of you," like it was completely normal to say that to someone else's kid, and maybe that should have felt kind, and it did, but it also felt like something I wasn't supposed to need at 27. I crossed the stage, and the dean read my name, and my faculty supervisor stood up from the 3rd row and clapped, and somewhere in the auditorium, James's parents were cheering, and my 5 chairs were just empty, just quietly empty in the way that says more than any argument ever could. That night, my sister texted, "It's a girl," with a pink balloon emoji, and I typed "Congratulations" and plugged my phone in across the room. My mom called the next morning and asked how it went, and I said, "You could have been there," and she said, "Don't make this about you," and I said, "It was literally about me. That was the whole point of the day," and she said, "We explained the situation," and I said, "Yeah, I know, and I haven't had dinner with them since." Maya's daughter was born 11 weeks later, healthy, 7 pounds, and my mom sent a video and said, "When are you coming to visit?" And I said, "I'm not sure. Last month I matched into my first choice residency program, the one I deferred sleep and money and 2 relationships for, and I called James's mom before I called mine, and she screamed so loud James came running from the other room thinking something was wrong. I called my mom second. She said, "That's amazing, honey. Maya just took her first steps. Do you want to see a video?" I said, "Sure." She sent it. I watched it. I never sent the video of me crossing that stage. She hasn't asked.